We want to talk to you today a little bit about some of the challenges that exist doing your Zoom meetings and other online meetings as it pertains to using the internet. I'd like to introduce my colleague who's going to tell you a little bit about his experiences.
Well, it's great to be here today. And let me tell you a little bit about my background. I'm a retired U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel. In the Air Force, I held positions in the Air Force Research Laboratory, Air Force Material Command Inspector General's Office. I've also had a stint at the Pentagon. I'm also an award-winning speaker, presentation and interview skills coach, and seminar leader, and I earned the Distinguished Toastmaster designation from Toastmasters International.
Well, Frank, I'm really impressed with your background, and I'm sure what you do in terms of assisting people is just awesome. So,
Right.
my background is I'm a former chief financial officer, senior executive, responsible for multi-million dollar organizations, including Georgetown University Medical Center, the University of Vermont College of Medicine, and West Virginia University Health Sciences Center. And I've given many presentations and conducted many meetings. And frankly, I found it a bit challenging to move to this online environment. So I started really taking notes and trying to really get good at doing Zoom. And I'm happy to let you know that I've received the designation as a Zoom expert from eCam, which is a broadcasting networking company that I won the award for the best Zoom tutorials. So I'd like to pass on some information today to everyone about one of the challenges we start with. And my starting point is no internet, no Zoom. So Frank, let's talk a minute about some of the challenges that you've had using the internet and Zoom.
First of all, it wasn't too long after I had my first Zoom meeting that I decided to get a direct line to my computer because Wi-Fi does go out and a direct line comes right from the cable company. But a little quick story and something that you really can't prevent. I had some sprinkler work done in my yard and they apparently forgot one line. Guess which line it was? It was the internet line. So that when they repaired my sprinkler system, they actually cut the line. I had a course. This was on a Thursday. I had a course to do at 9:30 on the following Saturday, and I had to pull out all my New York, New Jersey negotiating skills, and finally got the Verizon to come out on the afternoon of that Friday. I tell you, we have in the last 15, 20 years, we have become so dependent on the internet that it really makes a difference. So a direct line is really the best way to go.
And, I think one of the things about a direct connection that we all know is that the speeds are much faster for upload as well as download.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And what about your experiences, Wendy?
Well, I gave my first Zoom presentation probably back in February, right as COVID was starting, on crisis management. And so I'm about a third of the way into the presentation. I had about 100 people involved in the meeting, and my internet completely went out. And I was just mortified. Here I am giving a speech on crisis management planning, and I had no plan to deal with that
Goodness.
failure.
Oh my goodness.
For folks that may not know how to determine what the strength of their internet is, can you talk a little bit about that?
On a phone, you can always go to speed test. There's a speed app on whether it's an Android phone or an iPhone. You can always go to a speed test and they'll tell you what the connection speed is. But you can also do it on your computer, speedtest.com, and that would be your internet speed.
I believe it's called speedtest.net, though,
Oh,
not org.
.net. I'm sorry,
And
you're right.
we'll post that information. But one of the things that I think is interesting is for Zoom in particular, the
Mhm.
requirements are that and you can see these on your speedtest.net, is that Zoom requires an upload and a download speed. If you're going to be broadcasting at 1080, you have to have 3 megabits per second, both for upload and download. So do you want to talk just a little bit about your backup that you have, and then I'll share a little bit about what I do as well?
Yeah, my backup if my internet carrier goes out is this little phone, and the reason being is that this goes off the cell towers in your area. Now, if you're in an area that has spotty coverage, you'll still have a problem with this. But this has pretty good. It's not as good as the line coming into my house, but it's at least as much as you need for a Zoom call.
One of the things that I've done as well is I have boosters in my home. It boosts the signal so I can check in each room. I can see which network I'm on, and if I'm having a challenge, I can switch to the other networks.
So that's worth it,
So,
especially if you have a business that depends on the internet. The price you'd have to pay is a pittance compared to if something went out. As far as the backup, you have, I think, a hotspot on your phone. You're going to try to
right.
change it over and see if it has any effect on our call.
Great. Well, first of all, what I'll do is I'll activate my hotspot here, turn it on. By the way, I'm using a Verizon Jetpack.
Okay.
There it is. It's showing up as one of the.
All right. You're freezing a little bit.
Hi,
Are you back?
I'm back. Are you back?
I'm back. Are you on your hotspot?
I am.
Oh, okay. There was a bit of a freeze when you did the turnover.
Right. And then on my end, just so we know, the Zoom temporarily went off and then it asked me to rejoin the meeting, but it's
Oh,
now working.
fantastic.
One of the things that I advise is for people to check all their devices well in advance of their Zoom meetings to just make sure that their devices are charged. So,
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I always have my computer on a line going in, and also to an outlet, and I also have my iPad. And the reason I have the iPad is I might want to get to something like I can see you now, but I wanted to get to the email that you sent, so that's why I have that too. So it's good to have another device.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been great talking to you today, Frank.
Same
And
here.
I hope this has been helpful for people. And just so people know, I have some Zoom tutorials on my YouTube channel, Leadership Lessons Live. And beginning October 5th, I'll be having a 50 tips for a fabulous Zoom course. So you can get more information about that on my website, www.leadershiplessonsforyou.com. And that's with the number 4 and the letter U. How
Great.
about you, Frank? Do you have any upcoming courses you want to
Well,
share?
I my first book is going to be coming out in October. It's called Speak Well and Prosper: Tips, Tools, and Techniques for Better Presentations, and that will be coming out in PDF form or ebook form in October. And then December 15th is when the hardback and the softback come out. So I'm very excited about that. On the 10th, I'm speaking to the West Point Society DC chapter. I'm speaking virtually, actually on interview skills, because that's what they were worried about. Friday, I have a leadership breakfast in Maryland. I'll be talking about Zoom and speaking
Excellent.
on communicating in a virtual world. And I'll be doing basically the same presentation to the Greater Reston Chamber of Commerce on the 23rd. So I'm very excited
Woohoo!
about all these activities.
Great.